سلام بچه ها، من رضا ویپفور هستم. آقا امروز اومدیم با یه ویدیو جدید ریاکت به عجیب ترین برنامه های تلویزیون ژاپن. این ویدیو برای ویب هاست، بچه هایی که انیمه و ویب و اینجور چیزان تو مایه هاست، ولی اصلا فکر نکنم ویبی نداشته باشه. چرت و پرت گفتم اصلا. عجیب ترین تیوی شوهای ژاپن. بریم با هم دیگه ببینیم چیه.
Candy or not candy.
چنده اونها
Candy
شکلات
or
یا
not
نه؟
candy is probably one of, if not the most straightforward game show in all of Japan.
Okay.
Not that that stops it from being hilariously amazing. From this aptly named show, celebrity contestants are shown a spread of inanimate objects or put in a room where some things are really just plastic or paper.
یعنی یه چیز what the fuck یه چیزی یا درست میکنن دقیقا شبیه ریلش، تو باید حدس بزنی که این پلاستیکه یا نه شکلاته، کندی یا نه هر چیزی همونه.
But others are skillfully sculpted candy. Their challenge is to pick which objects they think are real.
یه دونه رو باید
Which
پیک
ones are
کنن.
actually sugary sweet? Think it'd be obvious to decide? Is it the pair of shoes or the picture frame? Oh, but wait.
خیلی اوضاخیته.
What about the door handle? Okay, the table has to be real, right? At least we can trust this guy's bow tie. Oh, come on. Man, this is hard. And that's because these crazy items are made from a special kind of candy called sakuri that can be molded into some mind-bogglingly
برگم با شکلات.
shapes.
حالا من
We have to
شکلات میگم
admire
دیگه.
the hours of practice it must take to
کفش.
turn a hunk of chocolate into a leather shoe. Number 9. Human slip and slide. The human slip and slide is, shall we
اینو دوست دارم. مطمئنم شما هم دوست دارید.
say, not exactly quality entertainment at its finest. Essentially a midlife crisis captured on camera.
اون با اون قیافش بعد رو اونا لیز بخوره.
This show features an older gentleman getting
But
greased
man,
up to take on the challenge of sliding over as many
از قدیم به من میگفتن رضا مارپیچ اینجوری.
bikini-clad girls as possible. He can make several attempts, but as can be imagined, the first try usually falls a little short due to hand placement. But eventually, he proves his manhood by clawing his way over the line of lovely ladies while the crowd cheers for his victory.
واقعا ورزش فوق‌العاده‌ایه.
The show hosts congratulate him at the end
نه تیوی شوه، ببخشید.
of the line, and he can go home happy,
برای من ورزشه.
knowing his receding hairline hasn't altered his ability to climb all over a woman. I wonder what happens
لعنتی خوششانس.
though. Number 8.
Okay.
Binocular soccer.
Binocular soccer.
Binocular
Gerçi.
soccer is exactly as amazing a game as it sounds. We don't care if you think soccer is nothing short of dull, or if you find it to be the best thing humanity has ever come up with, because
Okay.
whatever your opinion on this sport is,
What the hell?
it's hard to imagine with the fact that this show is hilarious. Each player straps a set of binoculars to their head and stumbles around a field in a ridiculous outfit that looks like
اون زوم میکنه؟ من نفهمیدم اون چیکار
something
میکنه.
straight out of a Dr. Seuss book. Most of them can't even run without falling over, let alone kick the ball or score a goal. Not that we really mind all that much. We're way more interested in laughing at a bunch of grown to their own toes than finding out who wins. Number 7.
Okay.
AK Bingo.
به به.
AK Bingo is the game show named after the band AKB48, who sings the opening song. Confusingly, this Japanese creation involves neither an AK-47, nor does anyone actually play bingo. Seriously, would that not be amazing if we just combined the two? Instead, we get this game show, which is nothing other than a tediously long game of dodgeball. What would usually be a fast-paced game is transformed into a 25-minute stop-and-go fiasco. Each time a player gets hit out, the entire game stops while that person goes through performing some wacky stunt, like taking and swallowing
یعنی
a
چی
bite of
آخه؟
super spicy food, or being trapped in a glass box with a giant lizard, until she can get the reptile to look at her, once the challenge is completed.
خیلی بده اینجور چیز. یه دونه برنامه بود، این گروه جکس بود، نمیدونم حالا میشناسیدش یا نه. یه برنامه بود، یه کدوم از اون بازیگرای گروه جکس رو درست کرده بود و تو باید بین حیوانات عجیب، مثلا حیواناتی که مثلا چندش آورن، مثلا قورباغه، هشپا، بعضی از ماهی‌های لزج، نمیدونم سوسک، اینجور چرت و پرتا را بری و خوانندگی بکنی. من اسم برنامه‌اش یادم نیست. این یه جورایی مثل
It's
اونه.
game on again until somebody else gets out, and maybe they eat a roasted cricket. Overall, it seems like an unnecessarily slow way to play any sort of
Feels bad.
sport.
امیدوارم
Though it
که
is fun
کسی
to
که
watch
خوبه
and
نباشه.
Number 6.
شماره
Tour.
6 تور.
Contestants
چی
of the
هست؟
hit Japanese game show Tour have scored the pleasure of competing in teams to climb up sloped platforms, navigate through some pretty tricky mazes, and
من
cling to a
گفتم له
wall
شد.
trying to answer trivia questions before they're shoved over the edge by foam bricks. It's fun, it's difficult, but perhaps the most well-known segment of this adventure show is the mummification game.
What?
Contestants are given a question and must come up with 7 answers to that question while they are being rapidly wrapped up in white cloth by a special machine. If they can give all 7 answers before they're fully mummified, they pass on to the next challenge. If they fail to recite all 7, they go into a casket and are entombed until the episode ends.
میمیرن که اینجوری نمیمیرن. Feels bad.
Talk about game over. It's basically
Game
the
over.
Japanese version of Tomb Raider, the game show edition. Number 5. Strip the Girl Game Show. Apparently the
چه برنامه‌های باحالی دارن. من الان میفهمم بچه‌ها چرا همه زدن تو کار
Strip the
ژاپنی.
Girl Game Show is what
ما عقبیم.
passes for quality family fun these days. Like so many other things we see on TV, this program is a poorly concealed excuse to see a naked woman. In this brilliantly simple show, male contestants are tied to bungee cords and must struggle up a slick mat for a chance to try and knock out the panels hiding a scantily clad woman who is pretending to shower. At the bottom of the mat is a vat of slime. If they get pulled into the goop, they lose. If by some miracle they manage to get to the top, they still have to aim and throw a ball at the panels carnival style. We have to admit that this might actually be one of the most challenging game shows out
من دوست دارم اینو شرکت کنم. جدی دارم
with
بهتون
most
میگم.
contestants lasting only a few seconds before they're dragged backwards into the goo. Of
الان
course,
که بیشتر توجه کردم دوست ندارم
at the end
شرکت
of the
کنم.
world, they'll gladly risk embarrassment and even a bit of muck for the chance to see a pair of boobs. Of course,
آه!
there's always the team approach. Number 4, Gaki no Sakai. It's
Okay.
good to know that every culture has their own version of jackass.
آه، هم گروه
Like its
جک هست.
American counterpart, Gaki no Sakai is a wild ride of pranks and challenges. No joke is too vulgar, and no challenge too extreme for these crazy hellraisers.
فکر میکنم این برنامه جالبی باشه. من خودم به شخصه خیلی جکس میدیدم، ولی خب واقعا هم جکس خیلی کارهای بدی هم میکرد.
And just generally goofing off.
واقعا داغون
One of their
بود.
most popular segments, however, is the punishment game. It's just as bad as it sounds. Contestants of this grueling challenge must endure a weekend's worth of increasingly over-the-top pranks in the ultimate straight man's test of honor. If they
کنون بخوره. وای.
laugh, they're punished. And by punished, we don't mean that these guys get points docked. They don't get voted off the island, and they certainly don't lose something as simple as money. No, their punishment ranges from being paddled on the butt by to getting slapped in the face with a giant dildo. Amazingly, the show's been going strong for 3 decades. Talk about going to great lengths for a laugh. Number 3, Spread Your Legs. Spread Your Legs is a delightfully family-friendly television program where 2 all-women teams compete against one another to lift the heights of feminism. Just kidding. This game is a thinly veiled attempt to regain the attention of male audiences halfway through a show. The rules of this lowbrow segment are quite simple.
180 فکر کنم باید پاس کنم.
Each team picks their own victim to sit on a chair that lands
Okay.
somewhere between torture device and chastity belt. The other players spin a wheel to determine just how wide the ladies have to spread their legs. The first team with their contestants' legs wide open, or whose player gives in, loses. But what if you're not that flexible? Too bad. You're on a game show, sweetheart. You should have thought about that before you signed up.
اوکی. قبول واقعا اینو راست
Despite
میگی.
everything, there is one thing about this chauvinistic game we might even be jealous of. Dang, those ladies.
این
are
برنامه
hard.
باحالیه.
Number 2, Close Up Sleepy Face. Close Up Sleepy Face is a ridiculous game with an even more ridiculous name. For this particular contest, a room full of women lay on the floor, pretending to be asleep.
Okay.
They've got pillows, blankets, they're in their pajamas, the whole 9 yards. But acting like they're asleep is the easy part here. The real challenge comes from the two male hosts, dressed as what we can only imagine is supposed to be mommy and brother, walking around them trying to make them crack up, and generally being as annoying and humiliating as possible.
Okay.
Sometimes things get a little out of hand. If the women manage to ignore the teasing,
کسی میتونه این شبکه ژاپنی بر من معرفی کنه تو کامنت؟
cute way, cute being entirely subjective to the two men so-called waking them up, of course, then they're safe. But if they fail, they get a pie to the face.
جالب بود. اگه ببازن با اون میزن صورتشون. کجا؟
Kiss My Ass has to be one of the craziest Japanese game shows out there. In this disturbing contest, players are presented with two butts sticking out of the wall, like some sort of fairground
بیخیال.
out to take pictures with. Their job is to figure out which one of the butts belongs to a man and which one belongs to a woman.
نه اگه فقط خانم بود من قبول میکردم.
That sounds like a crap job, but if live butts on the TV isn't inappropriate enough for you, contestants can smell, lick, and even kiss the butts to help them decide. What do they win if they get that's right? We don't know, and we're not sure we care. Seriously, who
امیدوارم که از این ویدیو خوشتون اومده باشه. بچه‌ها اگه خوشتون اومده لایک، کامنت، ساب فراموش نشه. میبینمتون تا ویدیو بعدی. پیس.